In this demonstration, we'll take a look at configuring display settings that affect monitors and display adapters. To configure the display settings, an easy way to do that is to right-click the desktop and to choose Personalize. You can also go Start, Control Panel, and then choose Personalize to get to the same place. You can change not only appearance but sounds from this area. Let's look at the things that affect the appearance or the display settings. First is the window color and appearance. This changes the window border that you see up here. For example, I can choose a different color. I can also choose the intensity of the color and enable or disable transparency of the window borders. Let's just put it back on the default. Next is the desktop background. With the background, I can choose the graphic that shows on the background on my desktop. Both the window color and the background can be controlled by changing the theme. A theme is a predefined look for Windows. So for instance, the Windows Vista look has this style on the Windows borders. I can choose Windows Classic to go back to a Windows 2000 kind of look. Or I can browse and set custom themes that have been saved as theme files. One of the biggest settings you'll use would be the display settings. In the display settings, this area here shows the monitors that are currently plugged into my computer. I have two separate monitors that have been detected. When I select a monitor, I can see the settings that apply to the monitor. For instance, I can see the resolution as well as the color depth. By changing the resolution, I can change the amount of information that fits on the screen. A higher resolution makes images on the screen smaller, but allows me to see more information on the screen. A lower resolution makes items larger and does not allow me to see as much information on the screen at a time. When you're configuring the resolution, for an LCD monitor, you would typically set the resolution to the native resolution that's supported on the monitor to get the best results. For CRT monitors, they may support multiple resolutions, in which case you may have more flexibility in choosing the resolution that works best for you. You can also change the number of colors supported on the display, either 16-bit or 32-bit. Currently, I have the two monitors plugged into my system, with one monitor not being active. To display information on the second monitor, I would choose this option here, extend the desktop onto this monitor. When I click Apply, the desktop will show on this second monitor. Because of how I'm recording, you don't currently see that information. We are still seeing the information that is displaying on monitor 1. Currently, my monitors are configured like this, with monitor 1 on the left and monitor 2 on the right. But let's say because of how I plugged them in, my second monitor was really on the left. I could, for instance, simply drag the positions over to change the relative position of how they looked on my desktop, so that as I was looking at my right monitor, I would know that this is monitor number 1, and the same with my left monitor. Also, if you're unsure of which monitor you are looking at, you can click the Identify Monitors button, and a big number will be shown on the monitor to tell you which monitor you are currently looking at. So again, currently I'm working on monitor 1. The setting here, this is my main monitor, identifies the monitor where the Start menu and the taskbar information shows. So for instance, if I were to select the second monitor and choose This is my main monitor, and then click Apply, when the settings are changed, you would notice that the Start menu and the taskbar at the bottom are now missing because that information is now being shown on the second monitor. Let me put that back and put my main monitor on the left-hand side. And as I said on the left, let me move my positions back to represent how my monitors are displayed. If you're working on a laptop computer, there's typically a function key that you can press to quickly change where the output is displayed. And you would use this, for instance, when plugging in an external projector. So let's hit the function, and on this computer it's function F8. You'll notice the icons that change when I hit the function keys. The first one says, display the information on my laptop. The middle one says display the information on both the laptop and the external display. And the third one says display the information only on the external display. So for instance, if this were a projector and I chose the middle option, I would see the same information on both my laptop desktop as well as projected on the wall. We've seen how to configure display settings on Windows Vista. On Windows XP it's similar, although it looks different. You can still right-click on the desktop and here choose Properties. And this opens the Display Properties applet. Or you can go to Start, then Control Panel, and Display. From here you can choose a theme, so you can have a Windows XP theme. You can go back to the Windows Classic theme, which matches the Windows 2000 look. You have the desktop settings where you can change the background on the desktop. And appearance settings let you change the Windows borders. So the style as well as the color. And then the Settings tab will look familiar to what you saw on the display settings for Windows Vista. In this case, I have a single monitor installed, so I see a single monitor here instead of the two monitors. I can change the screen resolution and the color quality. So that's how you change the display information on a Windows computer. Easy way to get there is to right-click the desktop and choose Properties in Windows XP Pro, or in Windows Vista, you choose Personalize instead of Properties, but it's the same action. Right-click the desktop, choose the last option, and then use the information there to customize how the display looks. Now let's look at how to change display settings in Windows 7. As with previous Windows versions, the easiest way to change the display settings is to right-click on the desktop and use the shortcut menu. However, display settings are now divided into two categories. At the bottom is Personalize. Personalization settings let you choose the Windows theme. The theme controls the desktop background, the window color, sounds, and other settings that all go together. In addition to choosing the theme, you can choose high contrast themes to change Windows borders for increased visual contrast. You can also customize the desktop background to be different than that specified by the theme. To change the desktop resolution, again you can right-click on the desktop and choose Screen Resolution from the menu. Here you'll see settings similar to what were available in Windows 7, just in a slightly different interface. You can manage your monitors and choose your screen resolution. You can also get to both of these settings by going to the Control Panel, and if the Control Panel is in Category View, you can choose Appearance and Personalization, as well as the links beneath that category to manage your desktop settings. In Icon View, remember the settings have been divided, so you have the display settings here, which allows you to change multiple settings and get to the resolution settings as well. Also in the Control Panel, you can use the personalization options to change the desktop theme as we've seen previously.